Welcome to Donget's Model Railway. It's time for a construction update, as I've been busy over the past few weekends building more of the layout. If you've been watching my prior videos, you'll be familiar with my under-layout storage yard, plus the ramp that climbs up to what will be the scenic level of the layout. I've been stuck at this stage for a while, as I've had several abortive attempts at getting a sufficiently convincing bridge to carry the tracks that turn right here across the centre of the room and over to the north side. This bridge crosses the centre of the room and will be a focal point of the layout, so it's worth getting right. It's also a technical challenge, as the bridge will be a lift-out section, and what I don't want is obvious deep baseboard sides, and then a cosmetic bridge side floating above it that looks like an afterthought tacked on. The north side of the room contains several computers and a very messy workbench. This is a repurposed old dining table which was initially my work from home desk 2 years ago. That PC moved to the main desk a while ago, but other computers and a lot of other clutter remained here. It was time to integrate my home server and the layout PC into the main desk as well, and clear up some space for more baseboard. When you've cleared out some space, the first thing that appears in it is always, without fail, a cat. But I'd rather have some baseboard here, so after persuading the cat to move, I built this peninsula board projecting out from the wall. The spirit levels are to check for a consistent gradient approaching, crossing and departing the bridge. Getting the length of the gap right is critical and requires testing the bridge fitment repeatedly. Before I put the next bit of baseboard frame in, which connects this peninsula to the rest of the layout, I do need to remove that table. This is the lift-out frame which will be underneath the bridges. It's relatively thin and positioned inboard from the edges, so from normal viewing angles, the actual bridge sides will be all that is seen. Even viewed from low angles, it will be relatively unobtrusive. More spirit level action here. The gradient needs to remain consistent before levelling out above where the end of the storage yard is. So where do the tracks actually go? Turning right at the top of the gradient from the storage yard, the tracks will cross the near side half of the 4-track bridge, not in position yet, and continue to rise as they turn this corner. There will then be a double junction coming in from the left before the track continues around the layout above the storage yard, eventually to arrive back here where the train can either return to the storage yard or continue around the layout by turning left again. This route crosses the outer half of the bridge, goes around the outside of this curve, where there is a double junction, the right hand leg of which forms a double crossover with the inner double junction that we talked about earlier. This section of the layout is a double track triangular junction, and allows one storage yard connection to connect to both directions of the continuous run. I have moved the command station, booster and computer interface to the new baseboard. The large shelf here will hold all of the layout power supplies. I've moved the programming track here temporarily too, though I have plans for that later. I've now fixed this part of the frame in and completed the front edge. Having removed my own workbench to put this baseboard in, I'm going to need a replacement. I've designed in a slide-out workbench in this area under the window. It will slide under the baseboard when not in use and slide out when I need it. I'm using these runners to mount it. This required both sides to be exactly parallel here, which, as the left side is perpendicular to the wall with the window in it, and the right side is parallel to the end wall, depended on the room being exactly square, which it wasn't. So I had to add a very narrow wedge to the right-hand side here to make both of these parallel. The wiring on this board needs to stay well clear of the sliding workbench and everything on it. I've added these clips to keep it all under control behind the centre riser, but still allow me to add more wiring as required. The lift-out bridge is now looking much more complete. The centre girders and floor are all glued in place. The outer sides are only temporarily in place at the moment until after I lay the track. You can see from a normal viewing angle, the lift-out frame is not visible and the sides of the bridge look to be the only things supporting the track. Even viewed from track level, the frame does not look massively out of place or proportion. The baseboard surface on the far side of the bridge is also now in place. The MDF pieces at each end of the bridge are to give a solid mounting for PCB sleepers to locate the ends of the rail really precisely. If you put them directly onto the foam, there's still a potential for them to move about a bit, and I want the alignment here to be perfect. The next steps will be to build the workbench tray and surface, and lay track across the bridge. This will be the first scenic track on the layout, so I really need to pick a visible track standard. There are many different manufacturers offering Code 75 bullhead flex track, but I can find only one 00 gauge flat bottom track with proper 4mm scale sleepers, which is the exacta scale concrete sleeper fast track bases. However, I don't think concrete sleepers would be correct across my bridge, which has the kind of deck which would not be ballasted. This might possibly have conventional wooden sleepers, or it might even have bulk road timbering along the bridge surface. If you have any advice on track type and what I should do here, or anything else that I've covered in today's video, do please leave me a comment. If you want to see more as I continue to develop and work on my layout, feel free to subscribe. If you like this video, there's a button below for that too. See you next time on Dongit's Model Railway.